Hello fellow investors and welcome to Sylle Invest, where we bring knowledge to investing. Will Cielo Waste Solutions be a success story or a horrible failure? Today we'll talk about the upcoming challenges for the company and how the outcome of these events might affect how successful they will be. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. Before we start talking about the upcoming challenges, I'll briefly explain the company Cielo Waste Solutions. Cielo is a company that turns waste, including all plastics, into high-grade renewable fuels. The only materials Cielo can't process are stones, metals and glass. Cielo's solution is very profitable, with a 63.4% gross margin. The solution is modular, which makes it easy to expand. The solution reduces greenhouse emissions, and there is currently no competition in Canada. So, will Cielo be a great success or a horrible failure? Here I'll present a rough model for how you can predict how successful Cielo will be. It is a sliding scale from 0 to 5, where 0 equals a horrible failure and 5 equals an extraordinary success. These are the 5 challenges that are ahead of Cielo in my opinion. So we'll start from the top and try to explain them. So we'll start, and also why they are important or why they are challenges. So let's start with the desulfurization. So why is this important? Well, without the desulfurization, Cielo can't sell their fuel for the amazing margin that I presented earlier. So it will be an important item for both profits and expansion for the future. Looking at continuous flow and upscaling. Well, continuous flow is important for a high production, and the upscaling is important for their modular plants, as they need to upscale to 2,000 liters per hour, so they can have, because a plant is 4,000 liters per hour, which is like 2,000 liters per hour reactors. So yeah, we need to upscale to 2,000 liters per hour to make sure that the modules work as they intend, and it's like a painless like construction where we build all of the plants all around the world. Looking at the greenhouse gas numbers, well, they're basically the cherry on top of Cielo's already profitable technology. But it deserves an item on its own, because it's a potential for big, like, free money, and from what we've heard, it should be a pretty significant number. Looking down, we have Renewable Energy's execution, and it's important because it's important for early profits, which also leads to faster expansion. So the faster they get their facilities out, Cielo will start earning money really quick, and Cielo will be able to use this money to build more facilities. So this is actually very important. And last, we have Cielo's execution, which of course is the most important one, because they are the core of the company, and Cielo needs to execute if they want to move forward as a company. And as we can see, they have different scales. So desulfurization and continuous flow and upscaling has 0 to 1. The greenhouse gas numbers and the renewable energy execution has 0 to 0.75. And the Cielo execution has 0 to 1.5. And it's because they have they're different importances. I would say that the desulfurization and the continuous flow and upscaling is more important to succeed with than the greenhouse gas numbers and the renewable energy. But they are not as important as Cielo's execution. So that is the explaining of what I think is important, and the challenges, and how this model works. So let's give an example, 3 examples of how this would work. So let's go with the 0. Let's go with the horrible failure. How would that look? Well, the desulfurization would fail. They would not be able to have continuous flow and upscaling. The greenhouse gas numbers basically come out as nothing, so they get basically no carbon credits. Renewable energy decides to build no facilities at all, and Cielo sits on their butt and make only a few deals and perhaps only have aldehyde functional. That would be like a horrible failure, and also a very unrealistic one. Let's look at another one with where we have desulfurization perfectly, like a 1. We have continuous flow and upscaling, a 1. And we have the renewable energy execution, which is also flawless, so 0.75. That would be like 2.75, which would put them somewhere between okay and a good success. So how would that look in reality? Well, if Cielo has the desulfurization working flawlessly, and they have the continuous flow and upscaling working as it should, and also that would mean the process that Cielo relies on is working. Their core is working, and that is what matters. And then Renewable Energy will have built 9 facilities, while Cielo has Aldersyde and perhaps Edmonton. And let's say they don't do anything else. Let's say they keep it there. That would still, I mean, if you hold shares today, and they would have built Edmonton, and they would have had those 9 facilities from Renewable Energy, I would say you would still be happy as a shareholder in the end. That would still be a pretty, between an okay and good success story. And if we also look at another scenario where everything goes perfectly, like desulfurization is like, yeah, perfect, works, continuous flow and upscaling, no problems. Greenhouse gas numbers, they are like Don said himself, it's like equal to the EBITDA of production, or the EBITDA overall, once the carbon credits are worth 170 Canadian dollars, like super much money. And Renewable Energy does all of these 9 facilities in very short time. And Cielo, well, they overperform. They build lots of facilities and they expand everywhere. If you were a shareholder today and all of those things would happen, that would be an extraordinary success and you would be very happy. So that is how this model works. And now let's go through my predictions and what I think would, how we can measure if it's a 0 or a 1 or like something in between. So looking at the desulfurization, we can give you can do these, by the way, by yourself. So you can give your own estimates here. I'm just going to give you some help to guide you of how you should measure this. So the factors here for the desulfurization would be, does it work or are there any delays? So a 0 here would be that it does not work and they never solve it. Not very realistic, but that's a 0. That's the worst. A 1 would be it works and there are no major delays. Something in between there is that it works in the end, but there might be some delays. So you can pick and choose what you want here. Personally, I would say it's a 0.9 here. I believe this process will be completed in July, perhaps August if there are minor issues with the process. But I don't put a 1 here because I'm open to the possibility that something can go wrong in the installation. I mean, it's the first time they tried to make it happen. If they made it once before, then making a second one would be super easy, and that would have been a 1. I don't expect there to be any problems, but you never know. Moving on to the continuous flow and upscaling. It's actually the same factors, I would say. Does it work and are there any delays? So a 0 here would mean they fail with the continuous flow and upscaling. So just plainly fail. There are, of course, other solutions you can make here. If it fails, you can have, like, instead of having a 4,000 liters per hour plants, you can do some other Frankenstein monster, but let's just say it does not work. A 1 here would be it works, and there are no major delays, just like with the desulfurization. And the thing here in between would be, perhaps it works not perfectly, but it works, perhaps a little tweak, or perhaps even there are like big delays. Personally, I would say this is a 0.8 for me. From my understanding, they currently run 800 liters per hour, and they have achieved continuous flow in February, from what I could read from a mail they sent. So they already got the basics down pretty well. And I expect them to reach 2,000 liters per hour with continuous flow this year. And once they do that, this will automatically turn to a 1. But it's a 0.8 because, it's a big process. I can definitely see it pushed to early 2022. I don't expect it, but it's a new thing. If things doesn't go as planned, it might be delayed. And this one might be more delayed than desulfurization because the desulfurization, it really feels like it's as close as done as you can get. So 0.8. Moving on to the greenhouse gas numbers. The factor here will be how much carbon credits can Cielo get. They're currently investigating this, and there will be numbers coming out in I think it was July, August. But yeah, so this will actually be a huge impact on how much money they will get and how fast they can expand. So 0 here would mean they get almost no carbon credits. I would say it's impossible for them to get no carbon credits because of their process. They will get some, but 0 is they get very, very little. A 1 here would be they get lots of carbon credits. I would say a 1 is the situation where the carbon credits equal the EBITDA once the carbon credits cost 170 Canadian dollars. If it's more, then it's basically more than I want. It might be that, but you know, you never know. We'll see. I'm really waiting for these official numbers to come out. And my prediction here is actually a 0.5. Reaching a 0.75 is, I don't think so. It should at least be a substantial income for Cielo, like a 0.5, there's substantial income. But I don't think it will equal the EBITDA, even if it's 170 Canadian dollars. I could be wrong, and I don't mind being wrong, but I don't think so. But worth noting here is that Don claimed that they will continue to refine their process in order to get as much carbon credits as possible. So the numbers that they release now could become much better in the future. So even if the carbon credits doesn't, you know, equal EBITDA with a cost of 170 Canadian dollar per carbon credit from the start, it might do so in the future. But for now, 0.5. Moving on to the renewable energy execution. The factors here would actually be how many facilities and how fast are they built. And yeah, a 0 here would mean that they basically build no facilities, that they like, the Dunmore that we're currently starting to build, let's just scrap that, or they don't finish and they do something else. Not likely, but hey, it's the worst. Moving on to a 1, then all of their 9 facilities are finished, and also in a reasonable time frame or timeline. Everything in between here would be, you know, perhaps they build 7 facilities, perhaps they build 8. Even if they build 9, you know, the faster they build them, the better, because early income for Cielo will you know, help them with their fast expansion. So a lower number here would mean, you know, I see here, I say 0 and 1. I mean, of course, 0 between 0 and 0.75. It's my notes. So if they get like built really late, then Cielo will not get the full potential of this, and that might actually decrease the number a bit. My number here is a 0.6. I believe they will build their facilities, and they have already, they will start with the Dunmore here at 8th of July. So they show dedication to complete to do their part of the joint venture deal. But I can't give it a full point because they only have memorial of understandings, MOUs, and they are not definite agreements. And Renewable Energy has not announced how they will finance the facilities yet, and these are like questions we need answers for in the future. I believe that we will get more clarification to the situation as soon as the desulfurization is complete. Mail conversations from Cielo shows that desulfurization is important both for the definitive agreement and also for Renewable Energy's financing of the 9 facilities, that this one plays a crucial part in it. Looking forward to desulfurization just to get more clearance in this topic itself. Moving on to the last one, we have Cielo Execution, and here we have some more factors because this is definitely more of an advanced topic. So now, will they have many and good deals? Will they have good financing terms? Will they have a rapid expansion? I believe these 3 are the factors that will decide if Cielo will have a good execution or not, or at least, you know, for making this scale, if you want to rate it. So a 0 here would be very few deals, bad financing, and very slow expansion. I don't say the scenario like no deals, no financing, no expansion, because I don't think that's even that's like a scenario that's not going to happen. So just worst case here, I would say it's few deals, perhaps bad deals, bad financing, and slow expansion. The best 1.5 would be many and good deals, like great financing and also rapid expansion, because let's face it, it's a competitive world, and they need, if they're first now, they don't have any competition in Canada, and I don't think there's any solution out there that does what Cielo does right now. But in a few years, it might. So they need to be first, and they need to be fast to take the position as the number 1, so no one can compete with them. So moving on to my predictions. I say this is a 1.3, which is pretty high. And here is my motivation. My faith in Cielo's management is huge. The deals they've made so far, in my opinion, has been good. The communications with shareholders has been great. The experience in the management team is extensive. And with Peter McKay on board, I suspect there will be fantastic deals and collaborations between the government and Cielo, even municipalities here. For those of you who don't know who Peter McKay is, he has served as Minister of Justice and Attorney General, the Minister of National Defense, and Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Cabinet of Canada. Needless to say, he has connections. By combining my ratings, my estimate becomes 4.1, which means that I believe that Cielo will be a great success story. These are the events you want to keep your eyes on, and the outcomes of these events will likely affect how successful Cielo Waste Solutions will be. Closest in time, which will be any second now, will be the desulfurization, and they will affect many things here, especially the Renewable energy execution and also the Cielo Execution, as I believe desulfurization will make them be able to land more deals. So keep your eyes out for that. And yeah, that was it for today. That was everything I had to share with you. If you found this video helpful, please like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to support my work, please consider becoming a Patreon or donating. These videos take so much time to prepare, and your support is really appreciated. Thank you for watching, and have a good one now.